Hey everyone, so I wanted to take a look at some other stocks that I'm looking at that seem like they could have some potential, and I want you guys to check out. So, and these are not buy recommendations, this is just for entertainment purposes only, okay? At the end of the day, when it comes to investments, I'm not your investment advisor. Do your own due diligence, invest what you believe in, trade what you believe in, okay? Now, what I'm looking at over here is pretty interesting because we got AMC, and check out AMC. We had this big bearish hanging man candle, and that's when it topped out in January. Big volume up there, and then it was kind of dead for a while. Made a little bit of a cup and handle, and then a falling wedge, and it was dead for a while, and probably made a big triangle before it exploded. Once it broke out of that triangle, that was a signal. Triangles are very powerful patterns. So now let's take a look at Tilray, which is now on the Canadian side as well, Tilray. Okay. I don't think it's as pretty here, but you had that similar bearish hanging man candle with the high volume at the top. I don't know if we can draw a triangle here. I'm not seeing anything too clear. I'm not finding a clear triangle. Perhaps over here though, clear range. Yeah. Clear range over there. It's breaking out of that range. This is like a big falling wedge. Look, it's starting to break out over here. It looks like there's some potential on Tilray, which is now listed on the Canadian side. It's going to fight with this critical resistance area, as you can see over here, because this is where it broke down, but it made a little cup. Is it going to break right through, or we're going to form a handle first? We want to check this out, but Tilray's looking interesting. ACB as well. ACB, my old favorite stock. Used to trade this stock a lot. Possible inverse head and shoulders over here on the weekly, on the monthly. And if you look back, the reversal was a monthly head and shoulders, a big one. But now we're getting a pretty big inverse head and shoulders over here, potentially with a bullish MACD cross on the monthly. And it was oversold, or pretty much oversold recently. High volume at the lows. ACB looks fairly promising. Taking a look at that over there. Okay. There's another one I was looking at, SCR. Let's look on the Canadian side. And these are all Canadian stocks for you guys. They're all listed on the TSX. SCR had this big up move. Big reversal candlestick, high volume at the high. Obviously, very large pullback. Okay, but if you look on the weekly, it's still holding this support level. And this could just be a higher weekly low, really. And now, sorry, that was the monthly. Monthly looked okay. Weekly had this bit of bearish head and shoulders, which broke bearish, lower highs and lower lows. Okay, the daily, there was a big bearish head and shoulders here. What you're looking for as a bull is you want it to push more, pull back, set a higher low, and then break bullish from there to start establishing a healthy trend. So you're going to want to push more, pull back, set a higher low support level, and then break out. Unless bulls really just do a V shape from here, which is also possible. We can do a V shape and then consolidate all the way up here where this previous support was. That's probably our target. And that's a 50% increase from where it is before it gets to that level. So there's some potential here to make some money on SCR. And other ones I was looking at, I think those are some of the main ones I was looking at right now. Someone mentioned this one to me. There's a potential Clover Health. I think this one's on the US. There's a potential double bottom on the weekly, on the monthly, holding this support area. We're seeing some bullish action, high volume down there. I don't know much about this company. The chart looks fairly interesting. What I would like to see is it push more, develop a support around here, around the 50-day or 100-day, and then rocket from there. That's what I would like to see on a stock like this. And yeah, so those are some of the things I'm looking at. Coin is just one keeping my eyes on. The crypto market is still fairly bearish. That's the thing. But coin had that pretty big volume spike at the low. Now it's making what might be a bull flag if it breaks bullish. So there looks like there's some potential there. Yeah, and then I like these Canadian stocks. Bell Canada. I mean, this stock is just steady green lately. And if you look on the yearly chart, and I think that was a .com bubble or something. They merged with Nortel or something. But, and then I don't know if Bell crashed or just Nortel crashed. I don't know exactly what happened there. But it's been bullish years after, and this looks like a yearly bull flag. Like it's been going sideways for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years now. It might be ready to break out and go into a long-term uptrend, Bell Canada. And then there's the prospects of 5G. So 5G could be a big thing for Bell Canada, for Rogers. I'm sure Rogers is in a similar scenario. And they both pay fairly high dividends as well. QSR, I like this one. You had the big volume spike at the low coronavirus dump because all the restaurants were closed down and stuff. But the stock is establishing a healthy trend, at a bit of a falling wedge over here. Now it's on a nice uptrend, and they pay dividends as well. These guys own Popeyes, they own Burger King, they own Tim Hortons, as well as other brands. So there's some potential there. Hydro One, bullish trend, near all-time highs. High volume at these lower levels, and it's above those levels, so those lower levels show it as support. Okay, on a nice uptrend. I know they pay dividends too. Bullish MACD cross recently on the daily, showing strength on the RSI, increasing bull volume, but no high volume spikes. So there's a lot of good signs here in Hydro One for a longer term buy and hold investment. Suncor is doing well, just hit over $30, a critical resistance area. You had the cup and handle over here. It's breaking out of this clear resistance area, had a big inverse head and shoulders, it appears, on the weekly or on the monthly chart. Actually is quite apparent. You got the bullish MACD cross on the monthly. RSI is starting to show strength. This stock is looking good. Let's look at NXE. This is another big one on the TSX we want to look at. NXE, very bullish, is quite a bit overextended though. Potentially we could pull back to the 4-month moving average. I don't think so. I think we might, if anything, we might drop down a bit just to create a lower wick on this candle because there's no lower wick. And then once we create that lower wick, we can push further and be bullish on NXE. It's looking good overall though. This is the weekly. It's breaking out of a weekly pennant over here. Nice pennant pattern. So there's some potential here on XRP. I do like it. On NXE. XRP rhymes, but not that one. NXE looking good. Bullish pennants breaking out overall. Liking the stock. They're talking about the potential for uranium to replace a lot of energy, to fuel a lot of energy, because it can produce so much energy at a minimum amount of waste. So nuclear energy could be a big thing, and uranium stocks will benefit from that. So those are some of the things that I'm looking at. Looking at financials, TD looks very healthy on the weekly chart, near all-time highs. High volume down here, but it's above that volume, so that shows it as support. It is quite a bit overbought on the weekly, so we might see some more consolidation. Potential bearish MACD cross is forming. So be a bit cautious here on the banks. They do pay high dividends as well. A little bit of a bearish head and shoulders potential over here on TD on the daily. So we'll keep an eye on that potential pattern. I wouldn't worry too much here, I don't think anyways, but it could be going into a consolidation for a few weeks to a few months from here, potentially. As you know, I like Bell Canada. Enbridge is another potential good one. We are getting an uptrend here on the daily, on the weekly. Had that double bottom, a little bit of a cup and handle or inverse head and shoulders right there, breaking out, holding support, double bottom over here, and maybe it wants to push further over here. So Enbridge looking interesting, although potential bearish MACD cross forming on the weekly, so be a little bit cautious there. Let's look at Barrick Gold. Barrick Gold, this looks good too. Potential inverse head and shoulders forming over here. Okay, it's already had a decent downtrend, so it cooled off from its recent spike. On the monthly, fairly high volume at the lows. Okay, it's just setting a higher low on the monthly, really. So we want to get up to here to break this resistance around $32 or so. And we'll go from there. It's still developing, needs some strength, but it did get the bullish MACD cross on the weekly. So ABX is showing strength on a longer term time frame, plus gold appears to be on an uptrend, and gold is doing well overall. Over here you can see this nice breakout, this big bullish trend on gold. So that would most definitely benefit Barrick Gold. And as you know, inflation seems to be ticking up, and that should inherently benefit gold for the most part. Okay, and just another quick look at the Nasdaq. Still, bears are still defending this resistance area. Very steady around here. Market is a little indecisive on which direction to go over here. So we're going to find out soon. And we'll go from there. And that's all I'm going to leave it for today. I hope talked about some of the stocks that you wanted me to check out. And that's all I'm going to leave it. I hope you guys have a good night.